mai, haere mai, ki te hui o Sweet Adelines. Tēnā koutou katoa. Welcome everyone, my name is Julie Earle and I am the team coordinator for our region and I have the privilege of hosting this part of the evening. How fabulous is it to be celebrating 40 years of Sweet Adelines Aotearoa, New Zealand. It's hard to believe how far we have come since those early days when a small but passionate group of women came together in Wairoa, united by their love of barbershop singing. Little did they know they were creating something truly special, something that will grow, evolve and bring so much joy to so many. Or maybe they did know and that's why they were on such a mission. One can well imagine Paddy Cook walking the pavements asking passers-by if they like to sing with such infectious enthusiasm. And then turning up at the audition at Wairoa's Little Theatre only to meet Leslie Standring and, well, the rest is history. Tonight we are honouring those who built this organisation over the last 40 years. So please can I ask the 40-year members to stand. Paddy Cook, Elizabeth Sexton and Virginia Humphrey-Taylor. Congratulations, the three of you. Please can I also ask all of the members who have earned the Sans Spirit Award in the last 40 years to stand. Whether you've been part of this journey for 40 years or just a few months, you are part of something bigger than just singing. You are part of an amazing group that will continue for generations to come. So here's to 40 years of music, harmony, memories and magic, and to many more ahead. Thank you for being here to celebrate. Raise your glasses and keep the harmony going. Me whakanui, tātou, let's celebrate. I'd like to invite four wonderful Sweet Adelines women to the front, up the stairs behind me for a little bit of fun. But let me introduce them to you as they come on stage. Come on, ladies. Paddy Cook, originally from Minnesota, USA. Paddy was a pivotal figure in the development of women's barbershop in New Zealand. A 40-year member, director of Bella A Cappella, founder of the first Sweet Adelines chorus with 12 other interested women. The chartering of Wairoa Chorus marked the beginnings of Sweet Adelines in New Zealand. 5-time national quartet champion tenor and received international recognition for her contribution to women's barbershop. Bernadette Tokach. From a musical family, Bernadette was involved with musical theatre, singing, teaching, directing from an early age. In 1998, she assisted David Brooks form a new chorus and took the role of assistant director. At this time, Bernadette also got involved in quartetting, and latterly Revelry enjoyed great success with comedy packages. And this may or may not be one of the reasons why Bernadette is joining us at the top table tonight. Virginia Humphreys-Taylor, Master Director 700, 40-year member of Sweet Adelines, co-founder and long-serving director of Christchurch City Chorus, Region 35's most successful open division chorus, consistently in the top 10 internationally, success in quartets, jazz talk, perfect timing, Singspiration, keynote, 2 stints on the RMT, winner of awards and accolades too many to mention, singing coach with passion for music and education, a strategic and creative thinker. Tony Griffin, with a background in dance and musical theatre, member of various choruses since 1990, 10-time regional quartet champion, Perfect Timing, Sweet Life, Frankly Scarlet and Latitude, 10 times international quartet and 3 times chorus competitor, served 2 terms on the RMT, director, lead section leader, educator and coach. Tony. I've asked them some questions, their funniest time, their most embarrassing time, their message for the future, their unforgettable memories. So I'm going to hand it over to them and let them go to it. Let's have fun and enjoy.
I just thought you might like to know a little bit about the first convention that was ever held in New Zealand. It was in 1985. It was just a really cute little gathering of 3 choruses. There was Wairua Chorus, and Bay of Islands Chorus, and Greater Auckland Chorus. There were only about 50 people, and we met in a school hall, I think it was Birkenhead School, in the gym, and we broke into little talk groups because we'd only just found out about each other. That there were 3 choruses in New Zealand, 3 barbershop choruses, and none of us were chartered, and we weren't an area, we weren't anything. We were just 3 groups of women that were doing the same thing, and we got together. And the one song that we knew as a group was Harmonize the World. Do you remember Harmonize the World? Some are nodding and some are going, well, what the heck? Yeah, it was a really nice song, but it ended with this little phrase that went, harmonize, the tenors had the melody, and we went, harmonize the world. But when we got together at the end of this gathering, I think it was only like one day actually, and we all stood in a circle in this gymnasium, and we held hands, and we sang that song with great gusto. But when we got to the end and we lifted our hands to sing "Harmonize the World," the tone went up, the pitch went up 3 semitones because we go, oh, because we didn't know how to sing. But we have learned a lot since then. Yeah. So if anybody, do you want to have a little demonstration of Harmonize the World? Yeah? Do you know it? Yeah. How many people know this song? Oh, come on. Should we do it? Yeah. All right, everybody up.
I was introduced to barbershop by my sister, who'd moved to Auckland and didn't know anybody, but happened to see in a local magazine an advertisement which read, "How low can you go?" And this sister of mine had the lowest of voices. So she went along to the Greater Auckland Chorus and she auditioned and she joined and told me all about it, and you really should find one and blah, blah. So then another sister moved to Auckland and she also joined that chorus when they won and they earned the right to compete in Salt Lake City. And I thought, ooh, there's an opportunity for me to go on a US holiday. I'll come with you. I'd really love to travel with a whole lot of musical women. How cool could that be? So thinking, only time I'm ever going to get to the States, what do I want to see? You know, Niagara Falls and New Orleans and New York and, you know, all of these things. So did a big 6-week tour and saw all the things that I ticked off my list. However, Salt Lake City, they had this big massed sing out in the square, and there was, what's her name, Noteware, Chris Noteware, and she was up in a cherry picker directing all these people in the square. And I sang along, you know, I've got a good ear, and I just picked it up and sang along with everything. And as the crowd was dispersing, I saw 2 ladies, and they had sweatshirts on which read Wellington. And I thought, what? I'm here with all these Aucklanders. And I went running up to them and I said, are you from Wellington, New Zealand? Yes, we are. And we got talking. And unbeknown to me, while I was talking to one of them, my sisters were talking to the other one. Get her into your chorus. Get her into your chorus. 27 years ago, I went along to the Wellingtons chorus and walked in, and who was there but the one and only Mr. David Brooks. I walked in and I said, I'm a lead. He said, we listened to you first. I said, I'm a lead. Just sing for me. So I sang for him and he said, you're a lead. Shortly after the next contest, the Wellingtons kind of disbanded and I was really disappointed because I just formed a new quartet and I was so excited. So managed to talk David into starting a new chorus. And with Eileen Gordon and David and myself, we started Wellington City. And it's been the best experience ever. So for 27 years, I've been singing with Wellington City. That's how I started.
I'd like to start off with a thank you. Thank you to those people, those choruses who have invited me to coach. For those who don't know, I live in Gisborne, and it's pretty much out on the edge of the North Island. And to have done as much as I have in the Sweet Adeline world, both nationally and internationally, has only been because of the many other people that I have sung with and had the pleasure of learning from. When I started Sweet Adelines, my first introduction to Sweet Adelines was after having attended the Eastland Chorus in Gisborne for 2 rehearsals, and there was this buzz about going to a convention. They were all very excited about going to a convention in Wairoa, which just happens to be where Paddy was from, and only an hour and 10 minutes drive south of Gisborne. So I thought, I'll see if I can go down to this, but of course I hadn't registered. It was I thought I could just show up, We were in a school hall and I was totally mind blown, as you've all experienced turning up to a Sweet Adelines event, first time, and just being totally in awe. Well, I stayed there for the evening, didn't want to go home. I knew I was going to be picked up be driven back to Gisborne, and my mother arrived to pick me up to take me home, and I said, I'm not going home. I'm going to stay here. This is for me. I slept on the floor of the Ferry Hotel. The Ferry Hotel's not the kind of place you even really want to sleep in a room, let alone on the floor. But I did that in the name of Sweet Adelines. And then went on to enjoy a fantastic extra day at this convention. And, the rest, of course, is history. And I've received my 35-year pin this weekend. I think might have been 37 years that I have been a Sweet Adeline, and I just love every minute of it, and I actually just love all the wonderful people that have made my life been so fulfilling. There we go.
The funniest thing that I ever experienced in Sweet Adelines didn't happen to me, it happened to all of us, was at a convention or after a convention in Wellington, and Dale Syverson was she was the judge and she was giving an education class. Now I know a lot of you were there and you'll remember this. She was using her cell phone for her notes. And she was talking about, well, the first thing is the pitch. I said, the pitch. And Siri said, well, you're entitled to your opinion. Well, you laughed. You should have seen that whole room erupt. And Dale, honestly, she was in stitches. She nearly fell over. And then she said, well, she's not so hot herself. Has anyone asked her if she can sing baritone?
That's awesome.
I thought that was awesome.
In 1994, our chorus had won the contest, and we used to put on shows on Saturday evenings after the contest. We had this wonderful show coordinator. She asked for blackout, and we were performing Phantom of the Opera. The blackout occurred. The person playing the pitch pipe couldn't see the pitch pipe to play the pitch pipe, but there also was dry ice. And the dry ice was coming on stage and fogging up the glasses of everybody on the stage. It also smelled as though it was burning, and so one of the people, Jenny Shearer, said, "Fire!" Meantime, the chorus was supposed to be putting on half masks, and they had little white, beautiful capes, and they were all under the risers. The front row were changing as well, except they were on their hands and knees, and they couldn't find anything because they were in darkness. And so they're crawling around on the stage in darkness. The audience didn't know what was happening. I can't see what's going on. All I knew was there was total chaos on stage. Well, the lights came up, and when I looked at the chorus, it was amazing. They had their masks upside down, on the wrong side of their faces. They had the gloves, a white glove on the wrong hands. And they just went right ahead and sang. It was really hilariously funny for me and for the chorus. And I asked the judges about it later on. I said, "Oh, what did you think about that?" And, they said, "Oh, we just thought it was fabulous." They didn't actually notice anything at all. And the whole chorus were like freaking out, as you can imagine. And I don't even know how the pitch got blown, and probably I blew it from where I was standing up at the front when I was emceeing. But so these things can happen, so never have full blackouts on stage, please.
When we were asked to relate our funniest story, all I could think about was this quartet called Export Quality, because the three other women were natural comedians. We put a lot of skits together. In the early days of Sweet Adelines, we all entertained each other at events like this, and people would sing or they would dance or they would make skits. We were singing a song called That Old Quartet of Mine, and we decided we would make a skit about old women singing, which was pretty prescient, really. But anyway, we wore shawls and funny hats and carried little purses with our teeth in them. And baritone blew the pitch, and the lead said, oh, I can't hear that pitch. Could you just check my ear?" And the baritone looked at her ear and went, "Oh, you got a suppository in your ear." And the lead said, "Oh, I wonder where I put my hearing aid."
So one of the other questions was a favourite moment that we've experienced, and again, it's a Christchurch City chorus moment that I've experienced with the chorus. And we were in Portland, it's many years ago now, and Angela Blank was our president, and I'll probably cry telling the story because it was such a moment. And, we did our package, and we went and collected our score sheets, and Ange and I we climbed up the stairs in the big auditorium, and we were the only two left, apart from the people who were in the top 11 who were being briefed downstairs. And we pulled the score sheets out, and as per usual, we looked at the back page, the last page, and we went, "Oh my God, we've been disqualified, we're not on the last page." And so then we turned it over, and we went, "Oh my God!" Perth had got 18th, and we got 17th, and it was the most exciting moment of our Sweet Adeline chorus life. For us as a chorus, it was substantially exciting because we'd always been in the 20s and 30s. So we decided when we went back to see the chorus, who were waiting on us, we decided that we'd read from the bottom up. And the chorus just blew their minds. So it was the most exciting evening that Christchurch City Chorus has ever experienced in their lives. Crying, screaming, and so full of joy. And it really was a moment in history for us as a chorus.
I just have one more little cute story. There was a woman named Anne Gooch who was going around the world. Her goal was to, this is in the 1980s, her goal was to spread women's barbershop around the world. And so she visited us in New Zealand, and she visited Australia, and there were choruses in Sweden. And so she thought, well, it'd be really cool if we could all go to a convention in Hawaii and put on a showcase of what our choruses were doing, all our combined choruses. And so she announced this to us in New Zealand, and I said to my chorus, I can't go. There's no way I can go to Hawaii. My husband is the sole. This was way back in the olden days. I was a young mother with 2 kids, and my husband was the only person working in the family. And I said, I can't possibly get there. And she said, why not? I said, well, because I'm a mother, and I don't have any of my own money. Anyway, this woman in my chorus said, this is what you do. This is one thing that I love about Sweet Adelines, is I have learned so much from. I'm an older woman now, but at the time that we started, I had a lot of older friends who were like aunties and cousins to me, and she was one of them, and she said, oh, here's what you do. You go home to your husband, and you tell him you've had this wonderful opportunity to go to Hawaii with women from all over New Zealand and put on a performance there. And you say, but I won't go. And he will say, oh, but you must. And it worked.
So, a message to the region. I'd like to thank all of those wonderful coaches, directors, members who've been a part of my life for 27 years, who've taught me so much. I've had something to give, but I've got so much more back from those people, and I'm very grateful for that. That has made me the person that I am now, and I wonder what would have my life been without this, without all of you.
Aren't they just wonderful? Thank you so much for sharing those little insights, and I'm sure there's more opportunity to come as they mix and mingle, and you can find out more of their trade secrets in conversations tonight.